Welcome back. So last week I walked you through what I called a good enough week. And honestly, it wasn't very impressive. There was no perfect meal plan. There absolutely was not a 7-day workout challenge. Those are cool, but they have their time and place. We did eat out. We enjoyed the weekend. I know I did. And nobody spent Sunday afternoon putting 21 identical meals into little containers. We put them separately. Potatoes, carrots, ground beef. Listen, this took me 15 minutes to make, okay? And we put it all in one container, we put it in the fridge. But the point is that it was just a pretty normal week. And that's exactly the point. Because after helping people for 18 plus years live life by itself, and me for about 10, I've learned that the weeks that work best aren't necessarily the most impressive ones. They're the ones that you can actually repeat. I want to clarify something, because when I say good enough, I'm not saying your health doesn't deserve the best effort. It's not that. Don't get confused. What I am saying is something almost completely different. Good enough in here, it means that your plan can survive real life. It's not some made up story or thing that you aspirationally want to do. It's something that you actually get to do. You can have a busy Wednesday. You can do dinner Saturday night. You can have a stressful day at work. You can go on vacation. Many patients have, and they come back and they're like, what? Things just stayed? Well, yeah. And their entire plan did not collapse. And that's what I want for you. It's so different. There's such a difference between the patients who believe they're on versus the one that they feel like they're off the rails. And that second group tends to get down on themselves and have to restart. And no. The thing is that you just get right back, right? We've talked about this. The skills that we're trying to develop, it's focusing on those skills, not perfection. It's adaptability. Okay, we have to learn to pivot, to adapt to the current circumstances. Another thing that, or another way to think about it is your body doesn't know it's Monday. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't say, well, Evelyn, you had pizza on Friday night, so we're throwing everything that you did Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday out the door. It doesn't do that, because one single event doesn't define you entirely. It's that event in that moment in time. And the body is the same way. Our health is more of a reflection of what we do repeatedly over time. Do you sleep consistently? Yes, you do. Do you eat consistently? Most likely, hopefully. Do you drink water? Hopefully as well. And so how we are eating, how much we're moving, whether we're productive, protecting our muscle, whether we're sleeping, and whether we're consistently nourishing ourselves, that's what tells the body how to work properly. Not that one instance, but the whole thing, right? Over time. It's these, you've seen the graph. If I find it, I'll put it here probably. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a calendar, and it's salad, Thursday burger, Friday pizza, Saturday beer, with wings or something. And then Sunday it's a soup. That's it, And so what we have to take into consideration and remember is that, again, one instance does not necessarily change everything. It's just that it's one instance. You have to take the whole. So the question really is, which represents that personality lifestyle for you? The birthday dinner or everything you do normally? Usually, in my experience, it's a pattern, right? The other little things that you do on a regular basis versus that one highlight from the whole week. And I think this conversation is especially important for people taking GLP medications. When your appetite is significantly reduced, it can be very easy to think, I'm not hungry, so I'll just eat less. No problem. Well, that's an approach, but we've talked about this before. The goal isn't to see how little food you can get away with. You still need to think about nourishment, right? It's how well can you nourish yourself given the amount of food that you can tolerate to eat. Because at the end of the day, you're still going to need adequate protein. You're still going to need adequate fiber containing foods. We still need variety, and we most likely want to have it, right? We still want to protect the muscles and as we know, there's several ways in which we can go about that. But GLP can be an incredibly useful tool when used properly. The issue is that the medication alone doesn't help you to build the healthy eating patterns that you need in order to maintain the weight at the end. And so it is a really good tool to get you started, but you still have to put the effort. And here's where something that we've been talking about recently comes back into the picture: your gut microbiome. We're learning more and more about the relationship between what we regularly eat and the microorganisms living in our digestive tract. Again, don't get confused. I'm not telling you that you need to go on a special diet for your microbiome. That's not a thing. And I'm definitely not telling you to go to the health store and purchase all the gut microbiome health supplements that you see online. Please do not do that. But what it does give us is another reason to appreciate some pretty ordinary foods. Because remember, we want to keep it simple, my wonderful stars. Okay, I know that's not how that one ends, but all right, so simple foods that you can add that have high fiber that are good for the microbiome: vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, whole grains when appropriate for you, nuts, seeds, and foods that provide different types of fiber. Yes, I said different types of fiber. I know there are different types of fibers depending on the type of food that you consume, but we'll leave that for another day. So things that give you different nutrients. A diverse fiber-rich eating pattern is associated with differences in the gut microbial community and its functions. And again, notice the words pattern, right? So different foods do different things in the body, and there's a reason for that. So also note that just because you ate some blueberries on Tuesday morning, that's not going to change everything for the entire week. We're talking about what you do repeatedly. So it's the same principle as what we were talking earlier, where if you eat a slice of pizza on Friday, it's not going to derail everything you did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In the same respect, when it comes to muscles, working out once a week, well, it could be all right if that's the best that you can do, that's great. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be able to protect your muscles for the entire week. And that's a whole other topic. It's patterns. It's consistency over time. It's eating enough protein consistently. It's using your muscle consistently, strength training when you are able to, staying active, and if that means walking, then walk. Have fun, dance. I don't know, put on a playlist, your favorite playlist, but stay active, right? Keep on moving. And this is where managing, maintenance, healthy aging really start becoming the same conversation, because we're no longer asking, can I keep this weight off? The question now is transitioning to, can I stay strong? And I say, yes, you can. And if you're asking, can I stay active? I say, yes, you can. Can I protect my independence as I get older? We absolutely can, because guess what? I am aging well as well. So we're going to do this. Another thing to keep in mind, and it may sound strange coming from someone who's worked in weight loss for such a long time, but your healthy routine should eventually become a little boring. The reason for this is that, I'm not saying that your food needs to be boring. I'm not saying that your life needs to be boring. I'm just saying the decisions when it comes to the food should become boring. You shouldn't have to wake up every morning and figure out how you're going to be healthy today. Like, that should be a routine that you can just plug into and execute. You have some breakfast that works. You have, what lunch usually looks like. You have groceries in the refrigerator in the house that are ready for you to use. You know how to handle dinners out, right? You know how to stay hydrated. That's not boring. That's freedom. And this is particularly relevant right now. As of right now, that we're in the month of August in 2026. And you know what's happening, right? It's many families are getting ready to go back to school, which means that schedules are changing. Mornings are getting busier. Activities are starting again. I mean, if they stopped at all. And suddenly September is staring at us in the face. I mean, I don't know about you, but I started Christmas planning already. So yeah. And that is why this is where a good enough routine becomes incredibly valuable. Make it a no-brainer. You don't need it. You don't need a complicated fall health plan. You don't need a few things. You just need a couple of things that you can keep on doing when the calendar gets busy. That's it. Things that you can just whoop, go in, do, done. Move it on. It's like I showed you, meal prep for this week for me: potatoes, carrots, ground beef. It is nothing. There's nothing crazy about it. It's simple, it's quick, it's done. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have things that work for you and you can go in, do them, be done. So when you look back at the week we created in the last week's video, I hope you see it a little bit differently now. It's not because I wanted to give you a mediocre health plan. It's not that. I want you to have a picture of what a true plan that you can execute on a regular day, a boring plan that you can easily execute on a regular basis, no matter what happens in life. Life can life. And those ordinary choices are going to be doing the same job for you. They are helping to support your maintenance. They are going to be helping to nourish your body, and they are going to help you to protect your muscle. They are providing you, foods that can support a healthy gut. And over time, those same habits become part of how we support a healthy aging. Because let's be honest, healthy aging is where it's at. That's why I don't want you chasing a perfect week. All these get ready with me, all these what I eat in a day, they're wonderful ideas. But if you cannot physically do them and it's stressing you out, then it's probably need a different option. Build a week that's good enough to repeat. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but I still don't know what my good enough week should look like, that's something we can help you figure out. You can schedule a free evaluation with us. Obviously, there's no charge to start talking with us, but we can absolutely help you to look at, what you can change, what could be, where are the opportunities. And if you're taking whether that's if you're losing weight, taking a GLP medication, or just wanting to move to maintenance, we'll help you figure out a realistic plan that works for you. The link is below.